Yeah, on the massive ship that decided that it was going to try and do a U-turn in a small canal, your stock was in there. You had, like, how much stock was there that was stuck on that boat?
It was 450k's worth of Snuggies.
This month's sponsor is Triple Whale. Supercharge your ad campaigns with their revolutionary analytics platform, because better data means better campaigns. If you're running any type of paid media, then you need to be using Triple Whale. Find out more at trytriplewhale.com. Hello and welcome back to the DTC Deep Dive. My name is Fraser and today we're speaking to Jack Griffiths. Jack is the co-founder of Snuggy. How can I describe Snuggy? Think a dressing gown and a blanket combined into one. That's right, it's cozy, that's all you need to know. Snuggy is an amazing UK-based brand doing some incredible stuff, but they've had their issues, mainly a load of their stock getting stuck in the Suez Canal on the Evergreen ship. Yeah, exactly. Terrifying stuff. Well, listen up, because he's got some great learnings on how you can secure yourself from something similar ever happening to you. Jack, how are you doing? Another fellow Englishman. It's nice to have English people on the podcast because we have a lot of Americans, so it's great to have... would you call yourself Northern? No, you like...
Yeah, 100% Northern, yeah.
100% Northern. Okay, great. So Jack, you're the co-founder of Snuggy. You first came on my radar probably during lockdown, I think, like many people probably. Okay. Because you have the perfect lockdown product, as I would say. So if people don't know who you are, they have no idea what Snuggy is, explain it to us. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so Snuggy is, we're a luxury loungewear company / lifestyle brand that we were founded November 2019. So obviously a quite good time to start with Christmas and stuff around the corner. We started with one product, which is the Snuggy, which is basically a big, huge, oversized hooded blanket right down past your knees with a big pouch, massive hood. You know, it's just it wipes out the dressing gown, wipes out the blanket. It just puts everything into one, and it's like by far the most comfortable thing you'll own. And we started with that one product and sort of built a brand around that product itself, introduced new products to sort of complement it, and just started just building from there, really. And one thing led to another, and we're a few years down the line and we're going really well.
Were you guys the first ones to do it? Because I have, as always with any e-com product, there's like a million copycats around and you can never find the original. Did you see this somewhere and were like, hey, that's like the perfect product? How did it come about?
Yeah, it wasn't in the UK when we started. We seen it overseas, and it was, I think there was two other main competitors just starting out as when I first clocked it, and they weren't selling in the UK. So I can't take the credit and say that I made the product, but it's we saw a version of it, decided to make it bigger and better and thicker and more comfier and add our own brand into it and make it more luxurious, and then brought it out, and the customers just went crazy for it.
Before we dive further into the product and Snuggy as a company, let's chat a bit about yourself, because it's always interesting to hear how, where you came from to where you are now. So I think it might have been a podcast, might have been a YouTube video, something, but you used to do the same thing as me, which was sell sweets in the schoolyard, right? Because I think that's where every single business owner started. You were selling sweets to your mates and anyone else that will buy. Tell us a bit about that. Have you always been someone which wanted to kind of work for yourself and own a business? Yeah,
it was weird, to be fair. It's like when you're in school, well, back when I was in school, in the cafe, they didn't use to sell, like, they sold some sort of sweet treats like desserts and stuff, but they didn't sell like chew bars or like good packets of crisps and stuff. So there was, and then everyone was like, oh, I wish they sold this, we should sold that. So I was like, all right, I'll be that guy. So I used to get the bus to school, and I was one of the first people on the bus. So I was pally with the bus driver, and we used to get down to like the busy bus stop at the town centre, the local town centre. And the bus driver used to, because there was about 50 kids that got on that stop, the bus driver used to let me run into the Asda that was literally outside the bus stop. I used to buy a 52 bag of Walker's crisps, a load of chew bars, fill my backpack up and just run back on. And the bus driver just gave me a nod on the way on. So he knew what I was up to.
Amazing.
And, by the time we'd got to school, I'd had pre-orders, I'd have everything sold by breakdown. It was just like every day without fail, I was doubling, tripling my pocket money. It was like my dinner money. it was, and then it just really, I got the knack for it. I got it's that easy to make money, so I need to like grow from it. So that's where it all began.
Did you ever work a normal job, so to say, as I like to call them, i.e. working for someone else that wasn't yourself?
Because I left school with pretty bad grades, didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I'll add as well, like when I'd done business in school and I failed it miserably. It was my worst grade by far. So it's weird that I've somehow ended up on this journey, but because I got such a bad grade in business, which is what I was sort of keen on, what I wanted to do, it gave me the mindset that it wasn't sort of my path, that I shouldn't go down that route. But anyway, I left school and went to college, done a year in ICT, didn't really enjoy it. So I ended up leaving that college, going to a different college, and a year in personal training and fitness coaching, completely different. Didn't really enjoy that either. So I think I was 17, nearly 18 at this time, and I was like, all right, I've done school, I've done college, still got no idea where I'm going to go in life. The pressure was starting to get on top of me, and then me and my business partner now, Joel, we just decided to stop everything, go to Magaluf, and just work a couple of seasons in Magaluf. And that's when we really started having to fend for ourselves. And we only went with €1,000 and accommodation for a month. And so once that ran out, we were like, right, how can we make money? And yeah, then we just went on a little journey from there. But I did work a couple of normal jobs. I had a short stint at Domino's.
Nice, like everyone.
Okay. I was on the production line at Domino's, and I worked in a call center for about less than a year.
Now you are running a pretty successful e-commerce lifestyle brand. Like, how did you know that, or did you know, I guess the question is, that Snuggy was going to be a success? Because I think that's the hardest thing with e-com, is that you never really know. You can do a ton of research, you can spend a lot of money on ads, but sometimes it just doesn't take off. Did you think in 2019 when you launched that it was going to be where it is today?
The honest answer is no, not at all. I actually like saying what I'm about to say, because for anyone who's thinking about getting involved in business, it can show you like what taking a risk can do for you. And when we obviously seen a version of the Snuggy and sent it to Joel and said like, this looks like something we could get on with, might make us an extra few quid over winter. So when we started the business, like, we didn't have no business plan, we had no long-term goals. It was just literally, we can make a few extra quid over winter, and I think it'll do really well. And then within the first 2 weeks of launching, we sold a shed load, and our customers were like, where can I get more? Can you do a blue one? Can you do a red one? And it just kept snowballing. And then like, we very quickly realized we've got a good opportunity to sort of, run with the wind and grow something quite big. So that's when we sort of changed our mindset completely and said, this isn't a win a little project. We're going to change this into a big global brand. What
was your first marketing strategy in terms of getting people to know that this is a thing that you can buy? Did you go straight to Facebook ads? Was it influencer marketing? Like, what was your direction straight away?
Yes, I've got a little bit of previous experience in influencer marketing, celebrity marketing, and things like that. And I knew this product, just from my past experience, would be perfect for the 18 to 34 female. It's perfect for everyone, but an 18 to 34 female sees this, they're going to want it. So yeah. Our first port of call was to start targeting some reality stars for influencer and celebrity marketing, and it just went from there. That 18 to 34 female target audience was our sweet spot, and it still is our sweet spot. So the influencer marketing was a godsend for us, and it still is. It's been massive. And then obviously, once we started getting a little bit more professional and growing quite quickly, we added some other sales channels. We had Facebook. Facebook's probably been our number one, and then Google Shopping and Google Ads as well.
In those early days where you're using influencer marketing, are you still seeing the same performance as now? Because you've had some other people on the podcast, and everyone has kind of said the same thing, that influencer marketing isn't what it used to be. It's no longer this, like, send it to a celebrity, you suddenly get thousands of sales. In your opinion, with it playing such a major part in the growth of your business, is it still the same? Are you still finding the same? How have you adapted?
there is definitely a peak of influencer marketing. I think it has died off, and you've got to be a lot more clever about how you actually target these people now. Like you can easily blow a lot of money if you're not doing influencer marketing right. And there's a lot more strategy to it than I think there was back in the day. It was just, it was quite simple to just send a celebrity or an influencer a product, get them to do whatever they want to do with it, and it would just convert quite easily. But now it's a lot more tactical. You've got to really, I think the problem is people are just clued up that they know they're getting paid for it, so they just brush it off like, you're getting paid for that. I don't believe a word you're saying. Goodbye.
Yeah.
But and that's what I love about Snuggy, is because I've owned brands in the past where I've sent products to celebrities or influencers and they've never used them. They've took the content, took the stories, give them to the family members or threw them in the bin or something like that. Whereas Snuggy is completely different. Everyone we work with is like, oh my God, can I get another one? Can I get another one? Like, and we see them like a month later on the stories, just doing the housework in the Snuggy, and it's just like people love the product. So that's what we like strive off with influencer marketing.
Yeah, I think that's so important when you find a product is, yes, you can pay people to love the product, but then if you actually have a really good product and people just organically post, like, you've hit a gold mine. Probably the biggest section for you, like I mentioned at the start, was lockdown, right? And in general for e-commerce, it's a huge amount of growth over the COVID. So you saw and experienced a lot of crazy stuff during it. What was that like to go from, you'd only really just started. March was lockdown. You just launched at the end of 2019. Did that just did you see it coming? Were you like, well, lockdown's coming, people are going to be spending more time indoors, maybe we should buy some stock? Or was it like, oh my goodness, I was not prepared for this?
Yeah, it was. We 100% weren't prepared for it. We had such a good launch period and a good winter, good Black Friday, good Christmas, and good Valentine's Day, and it was just kept growing and growing. And we were thinking in our heads, right, March is here. Naturally, sales are going to start to dip off because the weather's getting a little bit better. Even though a lot of people do love the Snuggy in the summer and on the evenings and stuff, naturally the sales were going to dip off. And then obviously the first lockdown got announced and everyone started working from home or just on furlough. And our sales just started going. We weren't even paying for it. Our sales were just going up and up and up. Like everyone was like, oh, well, I've got nothing else to spend my money on. Like, something to wear at home. And then we'd done a big sale for the NHS. This was, I think, was the start of May. Maybe we'd done a big sale for the NHS workers because we knew they were putting the shift in every day. And that's when we really started to see it just like shoot up. And obviously we can't complain. It's I don't really like bragging about it too much because there were so many people on the other end of the shoe where they were really struggling and some didn't make it through it. But obviously we were fortunate enough to be one of the ones that strived through lockdown, and we're happy to grow from it. It gave us a bit of the only negative from it was we were like, right, we had the first 5 or 6 months, we knew what was happening, whereas lockdown threw everything up in the air. We were like, we can't track how well we're actually doing, what we're actually paying for, because things are just coming through naturally. So going into year 2, we were like, right, well, fingers crossed we're going to do a lot better than last year, but we don't have lockdown to help us this year, so we weren't 100% sure.
Yeah, what was that second year like? Did it carry on going up? Was it something that just you managed to make a big dent in the market from lockdown, and now are you seeing the growth carry on, or is it slowed down a bit? Like, what's it been like post-COVID?
One thing we're quite strong on is like you get that lifetime value from the customer. We don't just want a customer to come on our website and buy a Snuggy and then never see them again. We want to make sure they're interested in everything we're doing. They love everything we bring out. So going into year 2, we've grown from that. We're happy to say like we've absolutely smashed the targets out of the water, and we've really grown as a company. We moved into a big new premises, 3,000 square foot premises. We've got over 10 staff on the books, and our team's growing rapidly, a lot quicker than we thought we were going to. So we're creating jobs in the local area. We're keeping the business going, and everyone's a winner, really.
This week's edition of the DTC Deep Dive is brought to you by Motion. Are you still using spreadsheets to track your creative ad reporting? Well, if you are, you should try Motion instead. Motion bridges the gap with your creative team through visual and digestive reports so that they can make engaging content that actually converts. With one click, you can share insights with your team and add members to your workspace so they can easily deep dive into reports on their own. Motion makes it super easy to identify key drivers for performance and helps eliminate the guesswork in the creative production process. Join the 500 plus teams like Huel, The Ridge, and Foxwell Digital in using Motion to improve their ad results. Say goodbye to creative fatigue and try Motion for yourself with a 14-day free trial at motionapp.com. Obviously, you are known for your headline product. However, on the website, you've got way more SKUs than I thought you would at first. Like, are they in place just to raise the order value? Like, what have you found are the benefits of adding so many different SKUs and, kind of dipping your hand in so many different pies? Like, you have all the pet wear as well, which has, kind of played a massive part in your growth. So was there a strategy behind that? Or was it like, let's just try and upsell people on the way through?
The sort of end goal is we want Snuggy to be known as the hub of everything cozy. So when someone thinks, all right, I want a cozy weekend in, the first brand they think of is us. And that's where we want to see it. And we don't just want to be a one product wonder where it's just all about the hooded blanket, where we've got 200 designs of the hooded blanket. We are going to introduce more designs of the hooded blanket, and keep that product going because it's great. But we want to be more than that. We want to be just something that for everyone in the family. So we obviously we brought out, you mentioned the pet range. We've got Snuggies for dogs. We've brought out the baby range. So everyone in the family can literally get Snuggy, and that's what we wanted. And then obviously we've got quite a lot of other products that are a little bit different. We just trial and error, and I spent a lot of time in my early days of Snuggy speaking to a lot of my customers. So that, for example, like, I remember being in bed at like 10:30 at night, just WhatsApping like 10 different customers saying, "Oh, what do you think about this product? Do you think this would do well?" Like, things you shouldn't really be asking customers or taking advice from customers about, but like, it just gave me the right direction to take the brand where I thought it should go. And I don't think that's something many founders really do. They just sort of go off their own gut instinct. But I really wanted to listen to the customer base and see what they thought about everything, and let them sort of decide the direction of the brand as well.
I think that's really important. Speaking to your customers is something we've had a few people say in the past, because it is underrated, isn't it? Right? Because you forget a lot of the time. It's the customers that are buying your product. It's the customers which are getting targeted with the ads. Like, you can only do so much as a founder.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we'd be nothing without our customers. So their opinion means a lot more than most people think. They might only be paying a 0.0001% of your total turnover, but they probably speak for a good chunk of the rest of the customers that are buying as well. So I value all of my customers' opinions.
How have you gone about marketing all those different SKUs and testing things out? Because, like you mentioned, you do have kind of like the the cozy blanket products, but then you have stuff like the night pod thing, right? That goes over like a child's bed. Like, how do you split up your marketing in your SKUs, or do you just like focus on like 3 main products, or do you try and advertise everything and then see what works?
There's definitely some products on our website that we've not neglected a little bit, but we haven't pushed on ads. They're sort of sat on the website hoping that someone might be browsing everything we do and they add it to the cart. But that's usually our low stock products. But yeah, the Snuggy Pod's been an absolute godsend for us. We were looking for products that helped kids, and that looked like a cozy den for kids and things like that. And we didn't realize we were tapping into a whole new market with it, like with sensory needs and kids who struggle to sleep and autistic children and things like that. It's some of the reviews we've had from it are absolutely crazy, like life-changing reviews, and we didn't realize we were tapping into that market. But that product it's an absolute wonder. Again,
the reviews on the website are amazing. It's weird, isn't it, how you can make a product thinking, oh, this is a cool idea, but then someone else has a completely different need and want for it that you didn't even think about. Yeah.
It's by far the most rewarding thing we've done. So like, obviously you get the comfy reviews, and like even now with the energy crisis and stuff, people are using the Snuggy as an investment to sort of cut down on the heating bills. But when you've got a customer emailing in saying, "Oh my God, my child slept for the first time in 13 years all the way through," you're just like, Jesus Christ, that's unreal.
One of the major things that people, especially in the UK, because you were kind of all over the headlines with it, that people might know you from, is the fact that a ton of your stock got stuck on the canal. What is it? The Suez Canal?
Yeah, on the Ever Given.
On the massive ship that decided that it was going to try and do a U-turn in a small canal. Your stock was in there, and I think I noted it down. Like, you had, like, how much stock was there that was stuck on that boat?
It was 450 k's worth of Snuggies.
That's insane. Tell me, because there aren't going to be many people which can even fathom that much money. Never mind fathom having that much investment on a ship somewhere else in the world that you can't do anything about. What was that like? That must have been the most stressful time.
It was, for 6 months of our lives, it was horrible. It was touch and go. It was really, really bad. I'll add as well, we filled a container up, and we never ever use containers. We usually get everything sent from overseas, just loose on pallets and stuff. And this is the first time we booked a container, and it ended up on that one ship out of hundreds of thousands that set sail to crash. It was just complete, like, 1 in a million misfortune, and it absolutely crippled us. We obviously had a good winter, and we went into the next. We placed the order. We thought, right, this is the biggest order we've ever placed. It's a bit of a risk because we're using quite a lot of our cash available, and you just don't really think that these things can happen. So we outlaid all of that money, paid for it in full, was expecting it to arrive about the start of, I think it was the start of April, it was due to arrive, and we didn't see the stock until the start of October. So it absolutely crippled us. It damaged our cash flow, damaged our stock levels. We started scratching our heads, like, we didn't take a wage. It was it was a bad 6 months.
That must have been really difficult. What were the, like you mentioned there, you didn't take a wage stuff. What were the knock-on effects from that? Because I'm sure many people might listen to this and think, oh, well, it's just some stock, right? Like, you can order more stock, you can do, but like you mentioned, it goes much further than that, right?
Yeah, like all the way into our personal lives. Like, we have staff, we have bills to pay, even like our mortgages. I was getting a new house at the time, and it just threw everything up in the air. Like, what am I going to be able to pay for? It's just something you can never plan for, and you can never expect, and you've just got to absolutely sit tight and take day by day and just get on with it. And it obviously went on for a lot longer than we were expecting, and there was a point where we thought we were going to have to pay a lot more money out, but thankfully our insurance covered it, and it obviously came to an end. The only silver lining on the whole thing is we got a hell of a lot of press out of it.
Yeah, a lot of press. Yeah.
But yeah, that was the only silver lining about it. It's just people were supporting us locally and nationally. I was on the news quite a lot. People were supporting us, even though half our products were out of stock. They were just going on and buying, some of the products that were in stock, even if they didn't want them. So that was the silver lining out of the whole thing. Everyone's
still kind of struggling with shipping in general, like whether it's lack of lorry drivers, whether it's fuel prices. It's pretty insane now. What have you learned from that experience that's helped you in order to deal with shipments in the future? Maybe some advice that you give to other people which are maybe struggling with similar problems at the moment, because I think it's an understandable issue that everyone is going through right now.
It's all fair and well placing a big order and thinking, all right, that's great, I'm going to have all that stocks out there, but you really need it. One thing we didn't do was budget and sort of think, right, we spent all that, it's going to take a couple of months to get there, that's great, we'll start selling at this point and getting the money in. But you're not planning for any sort of unfortunate things that can happen. It obviously are 1 in a million, but you need to have this thing in the back of your mind thinking, right, what if something goes wrong? Am I going to be okay? Is the business going to be okay? And that's something we've done with everything since that happened. And Another thing is if we're placing large quantity orders from overseas, we ask our suppliers to split them up on different ships. So if we say we're ordering 10,000 pieces of something, we'll say, all right, can you put 3,300 on 3 different ships? It obviously, you might pay a little bit extra. It won't be much, but you pay a little bit extra. But you minimize that risk by a ton. So it's completely worth it. And obviously, once it gets to the UK, we were hit with the HGV problem at the same time. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, but that was my next question, is that once it got to the UK, it wasn't plain sailing after that. No. Then you had to get it from the ship to you guys. What did you do? That must have been like, talk about salt on the wound, right? Like that is difficult.
That was actually more painful than when it was stuck in like Egypt, because it was at Felixstowe in the UK on land. Yet it was so close, but still so far away, which was the most frustrating thing ever. Like, I just wanted to get in a van and go and pick it up myself. But obviously, they wouldn't let you. So yeah, we just had to hang tight, and I was ringing the UK companies every day. The only good thing about it was I had a company to just absolutely pester. Every day I was onto them like, we need this, we need this, we need this. But obviously, when it was stuck in the water in Egypt, I had zero people to speak to. Absolutely no one. It was. I was refreshing, trying to find out news on what was going on with the ship that 450 k's worth of my stock was on. That's how bad it was. I had no one to speak to.
Wow, that's an insane experience, and I think probably one that you've had some major learning from. Like you said, splitting the shipments. Like, I'm guessing have you bought a container full again on one ship, or is that a no-go for you now?
Yeah, no, we haven't done that. We probably want to.
Yeah. You're getting miles away from that for the nightmares. So let's talk more about your marketing with Snuggy. We mentioned earlier, influencer marketing, major part of the success in the early days. Now you mentioned Facebook is one of your most powerful channels. Is that still the case now? Because everyone has mixed feelings about Facebook. We have some clients that are doing amazing on it. We have other ones that are a bit fed up of it. Like, how have you found Facebook so far?
It's been for us the most consistent. Obviously, it was a little bit of a spanner in the works with the update and stuff, but it's been by far the most consistent for us. And we are guilty of actually not testing every single market available. I know there's a lot out there. Our TikTok definitely needs work. That's one thing that we know we're missing a trick on. But Facebook's it's our sort of safe bet. As our target audience is so wide, we've got quite a lot of different like audiences we can hit, and there's quite a lot that we haven't even sort of touched the surface with yet. And especially as we're bringing out so many new products quite quickly, it's just a constant conveyor belt of different audiences that we can target.
How often are you switching up creative? Is that something that you guys are regularly doing? Is it something which maybe might not be affecting you? Because right now, I'd say like creative is the main way to target right now, and making as much as possible is really important.
We've got a huge bank of content, like absolutely massive, loads of videos, loads of pictures, but some of it's like a little bit too professional, and I would, especially for some of our target audience, like some of it's great and it works really well. But our target audience, some of it's we need some sort of UGC stuff where it's like really hitting home, seeing the product in action, and like TikTok style videos is what we sort of need, and we've started getting a couple of them made and working with some of our customers as well to get some UGC stuff as well. So it's the creative side, something we can definitely work on, but we've worked with what we've got so far. We're still learning on the job. Like we're winging it as much as the next one, as much as we're doing well. We're still sort of finding our feet in the industry and figuring out what works for us.
Yeah. So you mentioned your TikTok is a mess. I'd say like 80% of people that come on here are singing TikTok's praises. Like, I know from some of our clients, absolutely smashing it on TikTok. Like, people are saying this has solved all their business problems, all the usual stuff that you normally hear. Have you dabbled in TikTok? Because I feel like TikTok would be a really good fit for you guys in terms of the demographic and the type of product that you have. We
get a lot of customers tagging us in TikToks and like just doing dances and stuff. And we are such a TikTokable brand. It's like 100%. Unbelievable. Like the fact I can sit here and say we haven't taken advantage of it, like, just winds me up even thinking about it. But yeah, it's just something that I'm not really familiar with. My business partner Joel's a little bit more familiar with, and we're sort of in talks to sort of get something up and running. It's a little bit of a unknown for us, but we've got the ball rolling, so hopefully we can get on there and start making some good content.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a missed opportunity for you guys. I think, like you mentioned, you have the perfect TikTokable brand that it is. It's such a fun product, and that leads me nicely onto like what's next for Snuggy. You guys looking to, like you did like a big launch like the pet stuff, or are you looking to, maybe switch things up completely? What's next for you guys?
We're going through quite a intense growth period at the minute where there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes to sort of make the customer's experience a lot better. And even though we provide a 5-star customer service now and our reviews are great, there's things that can be a lot smoother and make things a little bit more automated that we're working on behind the scenes. But in terms of new products, we've got quite a lot of things coming out in the next few months. Next week, we've got our Snuggy Light range, which is a thinner, more summer-friendly version of the Snuggy. So there's 6 new designs of that coming out, and we've got some really, I can't really say too much about the products that are coming out around Christmas time, but there's a certain World Cup event on that we'll be a Winter World Cup that we'll be providing the goods for, so we're quite excited about that.
Yeah, that's going to be the strangest thing, by the way, having a football tournament in winter. Like I think, isn't the final like a few days before Christmas Day, which is like, can you imagine if England get through? Can you imagine? It's going to be crazy.
It is, yeah. It's going to be bonkers. But I at first I didn't like the idea of it, and then I thought, actually, I love the idea of it because
actually I can capitalize on this. yeah. I mean, to be honest, I got my first dressing gown when I got COVID in January. I'm 27 years old and I've never owned a dressing gown. So the idea of a Snuggy really, really floats my boat right now. So I'm going to have to hop over and get one, I think, because I discovered dressing gowns and I was like, what am I doing? Like, this is incredible. Why have I never done this before? Do you find, actually, that's a good question. Do many males buy your product? Because like you mentioned, it's a very female orientated product, but I bet you there's a lot of sneaky males out there that are buying loads of them for themselves.
Yeah, there's a certain like percentage of the males that just say, oh, sod it, I'm getting one, I don't care, I love it. Like all my mates, me and all my mates, we love ours. The thing is, it's so giftable. Like if a male doesn't have the balls to buy one themselves, the partner or the man will, and once they've got it, love it. They'll convert quite easily into being a Snuggy lover, even though it's a very female oriented brand, and our sweet spot's definitely the females. Everyone on the planet can enjoy it. Amazing.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure. If people want to follow you, your journey, Snuggy, where can they find out more about yourself and the brand? Yeah, so we are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, just at Snuggy, SNUGGY. On Twitter, it's Snuggy HQ, and TikTok, Snuggy HQ as well. Amazing. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
And that's it for the DTC Deep Dive. Thank you so much for listening, for giving us some of your time. If you did enjoy this episode, make sure you give it a rating on Spotify or on Apple. Either way, 5 stars will be great. However, you can give it less, I guess. I'll just hunt you down. It's 5 stars or nothing, okay? Anyway, make sure you follow me on Twitter, follow the podcast on YouTube, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.